I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heim. Throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps.
Alright guys, in this drawing I'm going to show you how to draw an ellipse using the Trammel method. Okay, so a Trammel is basically can be a ruler, or it can be a piece of paper or a strip of paper that you use to make your points for the ellipse. Okay, so if you see here, this is the trammel right here. We are going to mark out the trammel, or the piece of paper that we have here, and we're going to put X, Y, and P respectively. But I'm going to show you how to make the major axis and the minor axis. If you look at the previous videos, you will know the major axis is the longest part of the ellipse, and the shortest axis is called the shortest length of the ellipse is called the minor axis. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is draw AB and CD 70 and 120 respectively. So AB will be 70 and CD will be 120. So when they say respectively and you see AB and CD, what that means is AB goes with the first number or the first measurement, and CD goes with the second measurement. Okay, so first line, first measurement, second line, second measurement, and that is what respectively means. Okay, so draw AB and CD 70 and 120. So let's do that. If you look at AB, AB is a vertical line, and remember it has to be perpendicular, okay, or 90 degrees. So we're gonna draw AB vertical 70 millimeters. Okay, so let's get our ruler, let's get our pencil, and let's start drawing our vertical line. Okay, so we said our vertical line is 70. Okay, so 70, start at 0, put 2 points, and then you draw your vertical line coming down. Let's label it AB because that's what the measurement states. So A is going to be there and B is going to be down here. Okay, next thing we need to do is draw the vertical, and remember the two axes has to be in the center of each other. So in order to get the center, all we have to do is divide 70 by 2, and that's gonna give us 35. Okay, 35. So we make a point at 35, or 3.5 centimeters, 35 millimeters, either way. And then what we need to do is get a 90 degree. If you don't have a T-square and set square, get a 90 degree from that point 35, which is the center of the minor axis. Okay, so put your crosshairs on the point in the center of the line, and then look for 90 degrees, make your mark, and then this point is just going to join up to that one to get your horizontal line. Okay, so we're going to draw the horizontal line. We're not going to measure anything yet. Just draw your horizontal line coming across. Alright, so this is the actual measurement for our minor axis. We're going to draw the measurement for the major axis, and we said that the major axis is going to be how much? 120. So if the major axis is 120, which is across here, CD, then both sides have to be add up to 120, and if they're going to be equal on both sides, we have to put 60 on one side and 60 on the other side, because that's what make up 120. Okay, and by the way, these numbers can be changed. These are variables and they can be changed. These can be changed also. It doesn't have to be AB or CD. Okay, so let's draw the line 120. So we're going to measure 60 on this side. So 60 is going to be in the middle. So we're going to measure 0 to 60, and then from 60 to 120, or 12 centimeters. Okay, 120 equals 120 millimeters equals 12 centimeters. Okay, so it's going to be right here, and this is going to be D, and this is going to be C. Okay, so make your points right here and right here. All right, so we have our minor axis, which is this one, minor, and we have our major axis, which is this one, major. Okay, all right, so the next thing that we have to do is use a strip of paper to make the trammel. Okay, so we have a strip of paper here. I'm going to show you how to make it. So all you need is a regular sheet of paper and maybe a scissors, or if you have a ruler, you just cut along. It doesn't have to be a very long piece of paper, depends on the size of the drawing that you have. You just cut it out and then cut the other side, and then we can use that paper. Okay, simple as that. All right, so you have your strip of paper, you have your book, and what we need to do now is map off half the paper, mark off half the major and minor axis as shown. Okay, so the major axis is right here and the minor axis is right here. So half the major, half the minor. So the first thing we need, and it's right here, is the Y. Okay, so we're gonna put the Y about here, and this can go anywhere around this area. Label it Y, and we're gonna take the measurements from there. Okay, so if you look at the trammel, which is shaded, Y is right where O is, and O is the center. So we didn't label O, so O is the center here. So we're gonna measure half of the major axis, and we're gonna put P. Okay, so half of the major axis is the 60 that we measured. Remember, the whole thing is 120 of the major. So we're gonna put Y right here. We're gonna put it right here, and that way we're gonna get P right here. You can see that, right, where we marked it off. So we're just gonna make a mark on the trammel. We're gonna label it P. Okay, alright, so the next thing we're gonna do is get the minor axis, and that is half of the minor axis. So we're gonna turn our trammel. We're gonna put Y. Remember, Y was here from the beginning. I'm gonna put Y here also, and that is going to measure half, and then we're gonna measure half of the minor axis, and that is going to be labeled X. Okay, so the minor axis ends up here. You can do it down here too if you want. You'll get the same thing, and then we're gonna label that X. Okay, oops, so we have Y, P, and X right here. Okay, so this is our trammel right here, and you see that? Yes, so this is our trammel right there. All right, so next thing we need to do is place the trammel so that Y falls on O, Y falls on O, and P on C, and P on C. Okay, so let's do that now. So Y falls on O, which is right here, the center, and P falls on C, which is right here. Okay, and then just let it go for now. And then the next thing we'll do now is move the trammel so that Y travels along the minor axis. Okay, so the minor axis is here, so Y can only travel up and down. It cannot go that way. Okay, Okay, so make sure Y is always on this line, the minor axis, and X is going along the major axis. So Y is going along the minor and X is going along the major only. Okay, do not let it go off of the line ever. Okay, and then by doing that we will make our points using point P. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, so Y is on the minor axis right here, X is on the major axis. So if we move Y down and we move X across, you will see that Y is touching the minor axis and X is still touching still touching the major axis. And then what we're gonna do is make a point at P, not on the trammel but on the actual drawing. Okay, so that is our first point. Okay, if we remove the trammel, you will see the point that has been created right there. Okay, so let's do the same thing again. Y on the minor, X on the major. Let's move Y down a little bit and move X across just a little bit more. Alright, so Y is consistently on the minor axis and X is consistently on the major axis. Do not let them go off. Okay, and then you make another point on the paper at P, not on the trammel but on the drawing at P. So we have 2 points here. So if you see what's going on, we are making a slight curve coming around. Okay, right there. Okay, and that is creating the actual ellipse that we need to perform going right around. Okay, so do the same thing going down. You're going to go up now on the Y axis and still remain on the Y on the minor axis and the X on the major axis, and then you're going to make your first point again. Move it down, move it across, move it up, move it across. Make sure they're touching both axes. Make your point. Do it again. Go up right here. Alright, and then make your other point again. And then one more time, just for precision, until you reach the top. Right, and then once you reach here, X and Y will connect P at the bottom here. Make your point, so you can see the points connecting right here, and then you do the same thing up here. We didn't finish above, so make sure Y is on the X-axis. Move it down. Make sure Y is on the minor axis and move it down, and X is on the major axis. So we're gonna come up here and then put our point here, and then put our point here again, right there. And you can make as many points as you want, but I'm not gonna make 100 points because you only need a certain amount of points to make a line. So if you look here, you see we've done half of the ellipse. Okay, so all you can do is get your French curve or a flex curve and complete the curve coming around. Okay, just complete the curve coming around. Do the same thing here. Once you have enough points, you can make your arc coming around. Okay, then you connect it right there. Okay, just lightly sketch, do not draw it too dark yet. Okay, because you may have to correct a curve. Okay, so that is half of the curve that we have. Now if you want to do the opposite side, now you're going to do the same thing. remember we put Y at O and P at C. Instead, you're going to flip it over now. You're going to put Y at O and P at D. Okay? So Y is going to go at O. It's going to be upside down. Y is going to be at O, which is right here. And P is going to be at D. And then you're going to go around that way. Make sure it's on the major and minor axis. And then you're going to come down this way. Okay, so let me start it now. So you're going to start at P. Make sure Y is on the minor axis. So let's go down first. So we're going to go down a little bit. Make sure X is on the major axis. Okay, and then you're going to make your first point right here. You're going to go down again with Y on the minor axis and X on the major axis. And you're going to draw again your point right here. I'm going to make about 2 more. Make sure it's on the major and minor. Draw one here. And then one about here. Okay. And then we have enough points to do this one. So let's just go start this way and come around. And do not draw straight lines, draw curves. Just predict where the line is going to end up and draw a curve coming around so that you don't have a straight line coming down. Okay, because if it's too straight, it's not going to look correct. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna keep it turned upside down, and then Y is gonna go up now and X is gonna come across. Okay, so we have our first point here, we have our second point here, and I'm sure you already catch what we're doing now. Make sure Y and X is on both the minor and the major axis correctly. Come around, make sure X and Y right here. Okay, and I think that's enough. So let's just come around, come around, come around. Just keep it curved. Come around to here. Okay. And that's basically our ellipse. Okay, so that's basically it. You have your trammel that we made out of paper, and this can be made out of wood also, but if you're given a certain minor or major axis, you would have to change it up accordingly. Okay, all right, so that's it. Practice at least twice, and then once you perfect it, then you won't need the video. Okay, so thanks for watching. If you understand, click the like button, subscribe, notification bell.
Count it up,
See you next
count it
time.
up,
All right?
count it up,
Bye.
count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it. Count it up, count it up, count it up, count it.